Have you ever noticed that these days, more and more people are saying things like, we're divorcing, we broke up, or our characters didn't fit? It may seem like a growing number of people are breaking up. You aren't making this up. There are 172 divorces every 2 hours. Together with the Wisey team, we've decided to investigate this question. If you've ever wondered what destroys marriages and relationships, this video will give you the answers. Make sure to watch it till the end to learn why people separate and what you can do to save your relationships and make them thrive. If you're watching us for the first time, please like this video and subscribe. We're always here to bring you interesting content about anything and everything. Mistake number 1. You chose the wrong partner. Everyone has made this mistake at least once in their lives. Imagine this. You've met someone attractive, but something is wrong. There are some things about this person you don't particularly admire. Still, you continue to ignore the red flags, intentionally or not, even when the alarms are going off in your head. What can it look like? You may notice that you have different opinions, habits, and life goals. We can ignore such things or even hope our partner will change and become the person we want them to be. But once attraction passes, you see that their relationships have come to an end. Don't waste your time on people who aren't made for you. Try to understand yourself and spend more time alone. And when you do this, formulate the demands to your partner and yourself. Think about what type of relationships you want and what your expectations are. Discuss them with a person who interests you. If both of you see relationships similarly, you're in. If not, don't dwell on this. Your second half is somewhere out there. Mistake number 2. You jump into relationships too fast. Many people try to fill in the void after their breakup with a new relationship. You may think that the best way to stop thinking about your ex is to find someone else. But this idea is rarely successful. If you haven't processed your emotions, you can repeatedly hurt yourself by touching upon a painful topic. To protect yourself against another bitter breakup, always give yourself time to recover from the previous relationship and get your emotional state back on track. Don't feel ashamed. If necessary, see a psychotherapist or spend some time on your own. If you immediately seek new relationships, they'll end fast, and it will really hurt. Again. Now, time for the fact of the day from Wisey. Did you know that the more marriages you're in, the more likely you are to get a divorce? About 41% of first marriages end like that. This rate goes up to 60% for second marriages and 73% for third ones. If you think about it, people who had a divorce once aren't afraid of doing that again. It can seem like the end of the world for you if you're in the first marriage, but once you've tried that once, it isn't as scary anymore. That doesn't mean it gets less painful though. Mistake number 3. You can't work out your sexual differences. We no longer live in a world where things like physical intimacy are never discussed. Today, we know all too well that sex and passion are essential things that can either help or kill our marriage. Have you ever felt that your partner no longer shows interest in you? Do you think that you have different needs? Things like that happen because we're not yet used to understanding how sexual differences make us feel. In many cases, people get frustrated with each other, but their feelings don't allow them to work it out. This mistake is significantly undermined because of the stigma that still exists in society, but it can entirely destroy your relationships if you're dramatically incapable in terms of your sexual drive and interests. Make sure to discuss such things before getting into long-term relationships. You shouldn't do something against your wishes, and you should respect your partner's needs. Only such behaviors can bring healthy boundaries and mutual respect. Mistake number 4. You spend too much time together. Have you ever noticed that people usually become more annoyed with their spouses as they age? It doesn't happen unexpectedly. In many cases, it results from living together and not having any private space. It's a common mistake, especially for inexperienced couples. Many people think that love should be all-consuming. even if it takes up the time they can spend with their family and friends. We grow annoyed and feel suffocated as a result. Although relationships are great, they should also give us time to breathe. Suppose you do all things together, including attending clubs and having hobbies. In that case, you may slowly develop a feeling that your partner is too much for you to handle. Now, it's time for the quiz of the day. Can you guess the most common reason for filing for a divorce? A. Unrealistic expectations. B. Infidelity. C. Arguing. D. Lack of commitment. And the answer is D. About 73% of respondents filed for a divorce because their partner wasn't committed to their relationship. This gives a pretty accurate understanding of how to make our spouses happier, right? Just demonstrate that you're ready to work on your concerns. Mistake number 5. You let other people interfere in your relationship. Your friends and family may want all the best for you, but when they interfere, it usually becomes a nightmare. When your mom tells your girlfriend about how she should cook and organize the house, it puts all of you in a very uncomfortable situation. You don't want to offend your mom. You love your girlfriend, and, well, they don't like each other. As adults, we must ensure that our personal life isn't a part of a group discussion. First of all, it's unethical. Second, what's good for them isn't good for you. You may think your spouse should be admired by all the people in your family, but in reality, it's only between you and the person you love. If you feel like you can't discuss what's happening in your life without the involvement of others, it means there are more than 2 people in this relationship. Mistake number 6. You move in together too quickly. It's a common thing to find 2 characters in a movie hating each other because of household chores. We don't know how the attractive guy from Tinder behaves at home. While he is great on the date and has his perfect look on, he may have dirty laundry and a smelly fridge. Such things aren't a problem as a rule, but people often start living together without learning about their partner's behavior and lifestyle habits. Imagine you're obsessed with cleaning and your partner never gives you a hand in this, always promising to do that later. Wouldn't that be annoying? Such a problem can get out of hand and lead to constant conflicts over who should wash the dishes. And now imagine that in the long-term perspective, when you may want to have kids. Don't start living with your partner immediately, even if you're madly in love with them. Do some experiments. Suggest they stay at your home and vice versa. After a few short meetings, you'll see how the person behaves and lives in their home. During the first few occasions, you'll likely see an immaculate home, but as people get used to each other, they also show how they behave when not pressured to look picture perfect. That's all for today. Now, you'll be able to identify the negative patterns in your love life and avoid them to save your relationship. Don't forget that relationships require investment and careful work on the problems. It isn't as easy as we imagine it to be. But if you're ready to avoid the most common mistakes, your life will get much more comfortable. If you found this video useful, hit the like button and subscribe. We'll be glad to bring you more thought-provoking content about anything and everything. Until next time,